blueberry yogurt lemon cake is something that I've wanted to make for a while, but I've been putting it off because I knew that I'd have to do a lot of research, planning, and tweaking in order to get it right. However, considering the current state of the world, I said to myself, if I could develop a really good, easy, inexpensive, simple recipe, it would help a lot of people out. So that's what I'm going to try to do now. For those of you who don't know, in France, they have a yogurt cake that is really interesting because the measurements are based on small yogurt containers. So for the cake, you'll add 1 container of yogurt, and then I can't remember what a sample recipe is, but let's say 3 containers of flour, 2 of sugar, 1 of oil, something like that. And using the yogurt containers, not only do you flavor the cake with the yogurt, but it's also a really quick and easy way of making a cake, measuring out the ingredients. I thought it sounded kind of cool. I wanted to give it a try, but the thing is that in other countries, containers aren't always the same size as they are here in the United States. So I said, okay, I'm gonna have to do some tweaking. And I'm sure you're all aware, the grocery stores recently have been kind of empty. And one thing I've noticed is that there isn't a lot of flour and there isn't a lot of regular sugar. I've seen a lot of powdered sugar, but not regular sugar. But there is a lot of cake mix. So I said, if people want to make a cake now and certain things are limited, why don't I try to develop a yogurt cake recipe with cake flour, or excuse me, with cake mix. So we're gonna kind of learn together, and I think this might evolve as we go along, but I think it's gonna turn out. So in this bowl, I have how big is this? 5.3 ounce container of non-fat Greek yogurt, blueberry flavor. And here, all I did is that I took 15.25 ounce box of white cake mix, and my plan is to use about half. And what I'm doing is that I'm measuring the cake mix using the yogurt container. So I'm not sure if you can see here, but there's I guess the best way of describing it is a lip inside of the yogurt container. I filled it up to there with the cake mix. And I measured it in grams as well. It is 130 grams. And the yogurt, after I scraped it out into the container, was 140 grams. So I'm just gonna add that in. And then I'm planning on doing half of the yogurt container with more cake mix, but just because this is being filmed, I'm going to use my trusty food scale so that it's as accurate as possible. If it was 130 last time, then I want 65 grams this time. But honestly, I don't think you need a food scale. I think you could eyeball this and it would be okay. So there it is, half. Now I'm going to do, I think, 1 egg. I think you could do 2 eggs, but I know eggs are kind of at a premium now, so I'm just going to go with 1. A lot of people, they like to crack their egg in a container off to the side. And I guess this yogurt container is perfect for that. Just to make sure that you don't get a bad egg or you don't accidentally get eggshells into the cake mix. Now I'm going to add a little bit of oil. I've seen oil kind of iffy now as well. If you don't have oil, I think you could do applesauce. It won't be quite as nice as using, now I can't open the oil. It probably won't be quite as nice as using all oil, but honestly, I'm not going to add that much oil. I think I'm going to do half a cup, half of this yogurt container. So like I said, just because I want this to turn out, because it's being filmed, I'm gonna measure it here. So I'm gonna do 65. Yeah, let's just make it a real half. Like I said, this recipe is evolving. So there's 65 grams. You can see it's half of up to the lip. Add that in. I'm going to add some lemon as well. I'm going to zest 1 large lemon. I'm going to add that. And I'm going to wrap the rest of the lemon in plastic wrap. And I'm going to use the lemon juice to make a powdered sugar glaze when it's done. If you've never zested a lemon before, and I'm using lemon because those seem to be plentiful now, take a cheese grater, or if you have a microplane, that's fine as well, and just rub the, here, I'll make sure you can see, rub the lemon over that fine side of the cheese grater. You only want to take off the yellow part of the lemon, not the white part, because that is bitter. Honestly, it is easier if you can find a lemon that is hard. If your lemon is soft, it's going to be a lot harder. And also, if you're going to juice your lemon, make sure that you zest it before juicing. Because if you cut into it and then you want to zest it afterwards, it's going to be a lot of, as the Argentines would say, quilombo. I didn't quite get all the lemon because it is starting to get a bit soft, but I did get, I would say, a teaspoon of lemon zest. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that to my cake batter. I am preheating my oven to 350 degrees. I'm thinking it's going to take 30 to 35 minutes, but I will let you know. Even though the blueberry yogurt lemon cake batter already has an egg in it, I did try it and it wasn't lemony enough for me, so I added the zest of another lemon. So for 2 teaspoons of lemon zest in total. If you have lemon extract, put in 1 teaspoon, because 2 teaspoons of zest is equal to 1 teaspoon of extract. I think it's really good now. I think having more lemon brings out the blueberry flavor, so I think it's good. My small loaf pan, I didn't butter and flour it. I just sprayed it with non-stick canola oil spray. Like I said, not everything's at the store, so I'm just going to literally pour this into my pan. My oven is preheated to 350. I'm going to bake this for, to be honest, I'm not quite sure. I will let you know. I'm going to scrape this, and then once it's all in there, I'm going to smooth it out. And what's good about this recipe is that since it uses about half of the cake mix box and just 1 small individual yogurt container, 5.3 ounces, you could buy 1 box of cake mix and 2 different types of yogurt. So experiment with, I think strawberry yogurt would be good, black cherry, blueberry, lemon yogurt, of course. I think I may be onto something. So we'll see. This is in the pan. Now I'm going to put it into the 350 degree oven. Normally I would bake this at 325, but actually I've changed my mind. I'm going to put the temperature back down to 325 and I'm going to see how it goes. My blueberry yogurt lemon cake just came out of the oven. It was in at 325 for 35 minutes. I did check it with a toothpick before then because I thought it would be done, but it wasn't. I'm going to let it cool a little bit. I'm going to take it out, but it did rise a bit more than I thought it would. So this should be delicious. My blueberry yogurt lemon cake has been out of the oven for about 20 minutes, I would say. I can hold it here, no problem at all. But the bottom, I can hold it for a few seconds and then I have to pull my fingers away. I'm going to take it out of the pan now. If you've never taken a cake out of a pan, the easiest way is just to take a knife and run it along the sides like this. And as you can see, because I sprayed it very well, this is very loose. And take a plate, cover it in plastic wrap, put it over the pan like that, and simply flip it. So you'll hold the side or the edge of the plate with your thumb, and your fingers will be holding the cake pan here on the edge, and then you literally just flip it. Flip it like that. It should come out. If not, just give it a little shake. And see, nice and clean. I'm going to put it on this plate because this plate looks a little bit nicer, but you can see this is a nice little cake. It's not gigantic. It's not meant to be gigantic. It's meant to be just a nice cake that's simple, not expensive to make, doesn't have a lot of ingredients. And in a time, I'm trying to arrange this on the plate where I want it. And in a time when grocery stores don't have everything, I think it's a good idea to have a simple cake recipe. So I'm going to try this in a little while. I'm going to let it cool down a little bit, and then I'm either going to dust it with powdered sugar or do a glaze. I'm thinking a glaze. But yeah, I'm not going to lie, I tasted the batter and it tastes delicious. So I cannot wait to try this. It's now the next day, and my blueberry yogurt lemon cake is now completely and totally cooled. Now I'm going to make the glaze. If you wanted to, I think this would be perfectly fine as is. You could sprinkle it with powdered sugar. I think you could do a lot of things with it, but I really like glazes. So here in this bowl, I have about a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar and a little bit of zest that I managed to scrape off of the lemon, the juice of 1 lemon, and some water. I want a glaze that's thick, yet not too thick, and that dries hard. I do have a recipe for that, but I've never made something this size, so I don't want to make too much and have it go to waste. So I'm kind of inventing a recipe as I go on. Honestly, I think you can do this by sight. I'm going to use a combination of lemon juice and water because I want the glaze to have a lemon flavor. That's also why I added a little bit of zest. But I think if you use only lemon juice, it might be too acidic. So that's why I'm using lemon juice and water. I'm going to start off with 1 teaspoon of lemon juice and 1 teaspoon of, actually I think I'm going to need more than that. Let's do 2 teaspoons of water and 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Now I'm going to start stirring. At first it looks like it's not going to come together, but if you keep stirring, it will. And I think that was too much liquid, so I'm going to add some more powdered sugar. I think this will be it. And honestly, this all depends on how thick you want it. And I'm actually glad I made that mistake because I wanted you to see that if you accidentally add too much liquid, all you have to do is add a little bit more powdered sugar and it will be fine. And also, as it hardens, or as time passes, even before it starts to harden, it will get thicker. So keep that in mind. I am gonna go with this. So I'm just going to pour this on top. I have a 1/4 cup plus 3 teaspoons of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons of water, and a little bit of lemon zest. Now I'm just going to spread this over the top. I do want this to be a little bit sweet, a little bit special, but I don't want it to be too sweet because I don't want it to overpower the flavor of this blueberry yogurt lemon cake. See, nice and simple. Does it have to be perfect? No, it's homemade. It is going to be delicious. I love how it's falling over the side a little bit. And honestly, I think it maybe could have used a little bit more glaze, but that's okay. Like I said, this is the first time I've made this recipe. I'm basically making it up as I go along. And if you are experimenting in the kitchen, I think you have to accept the fact that the first time you make it, it might not turn out perfectly. And usually recipes, when I make them for the first time, it takes me 2 tries, if not 3, to get them perfect. So, just part of being a chef, I guess. So here's that blueberry yogurt lemon loaf, lemon cake. I'll take some from here, put on the other side. Once this dries, I'm going to cut into it. I cannot wait. This looks phenomenal. My blueberry yogurt lemon cake is now ready to serve. I put the glaze on, guessing about 2.5 hours ago. It's dry on the top, a little bit wet on the bottom, but that's okay. I am really curious. I'm going to serve myself a piece. I'm going to cut right here. Here's a piece of blueberry yogurt lemon cake. I'm going to take some photos and then I will. Now it's time to try my blueberry yogurt lemon cake. Here's the cake up close. Definitely good. I taste the lemon, I taste the blueberry. It's a very moist cake. It has kind of a crust on the outside. So together with the outside crust and the hard glaze on the top and the moist interior, it's a good combination of not only flavors but also textures. Very, very good. Like I've said throughout the video, the world is going through a lot right now. You go to the grocery store, you don't always find what you want, and I think that right now people need a recipe like this that's really easy, doesn't have a lot of ingredients. It has ingredients that you'll be able to find. It's not really expensive. So I'm glad that I took that inspiration from that French recipe and tweaked it so that people here in the United States and other countries can make it with what they have on hand and have a nice cake. It's not a huge cake, as you can see, it's a small cake. But like I said, because you can make 2 from 1 box of cake mix, you could try different flavors. Try vanilla and maybe add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You could try strawberry lemon, black cherry lemon. The possibilities are endless. So you definitely need to try this blackberry lemon cake. It's a nice, simple cake that's delicious, easy to make, and not too sweet. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.